Hello from Kirksville, Missouri. This is Randy Curban, and this is Rantin' Randy's Rant for five. I'm losing track of my days. 9/5/19. All right. I kind of wait around for a second, let some people get here. All right, we got two people out there already. Let's see. Oh, well, like my new moniker says, look, uh, look what this fucker has done now. Uh, I'm going to start out with uh, Trump broke the law with his triple down on his lie about Alabama tweets about Dorian. He decided he would go out there, draw with a Sharpie. He claims he didn't do it, and he doesn't know who did. But he sat right there. He knew what he was looking at. All right. Because he did that, that's U.S. law per 18 U.S. Code 2074. Whoever knowingly issues or publishes any counterfeit weather forecast or warning of weather condition falsely representing such forecast or warning have issued or published by the Weather Bureau, the U.S. Signal Service, or other branch of government service, as in Oval Office, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 90 days or both. So again, he's breaking the law in public. And another thing I thought I would cover, and I'm going to look into this, I'll probably do it on my Facebook tomorrow, on my rant tomorrow. I have a David Pakman clip out there that in recent days, Donnie has appeared again, slurring his words. I found out through a couple of different places he doesn't have dentures, so he can't blame it on a slipping denture or anything. I think that they are drugging him on some occasions to go appear because he appears like he doesn't know what's going on. He holds on to the podium like he can't stand up. The only other thing is either that or mentally he is getting too old. We know, for instance, he claimed that he'd only just recently heard of a category 5, which was a lie, or he doesn't realize how many times that makes the fourth time he's repeated it since he's been in office. That's how many storms he's had, and he keeps claiming he's never heard of a category 5. All right. Hello, Sandra. Hello, Sue. And hello, Jerry. All right. We got a few folks out there. I love it. At the end, and I'm going to decide whether I'm going to go into this. I am a subscriber to Curiosity Stream, and there are a lot of things that we could do in our future, part of which are already possible. It's just not a whole lot of work going into it. But I'm probably going to hold back on that. I don't want to hold up everybody for all day. But I will say some of these ideas would provide more oxygen, for one thing. And it has to do with people are going to have to move away from the coast. We can't keep rebuilding on the coast when they know that each storm that comes in is destroying their home. They're going to have to be compensated by the government or whatever, and they're going to have to choose another place to live. Well, some of the ideas that I've got that I'm going to put in I'll probably do it at the end of my Facebook tomorrow because I've got other things to get to right now. But I think you'll find it very interesting. And it goes right along with the climate change uh, town hall last night. Now, I'll tell you, quite frankly, I didn't get to watch all of them. That's a long period of time to be watching with a couple of breaks in between of 30 minutes. Uh, and I already covered that about uh, how he was arguing back and forth with NOAA and the National Weather Service and all that. We saw him openly break the law from my recordings, and that was Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. Um, Joe Biden was doing all right until he talked to a young man with, I believe it was the Sunrise Movement, asking him if he will take or have fundraisers from big donors like fossil fuel. Uh, that's where he kind of was unprepared for it again. Claimed that the guy that was mentioned, and I forgot what his name is, forgive me for that, but that he was no longer involved in big oil. In other words, he doesn't work for them anymore. So it's perfectly all right for him to have somebody like that uh, fundraising for him. They also did not cancel the event today. They could have, but they didn't. All right. Yeah, I bet he lies while he's asleep too. But Melania's not in there, so nobody can say whether he does or not. Oh, and another thing I wanted to discuss today too. Uh, Again, it comes down to we have no leadership in this country. In my opinion, those who enable this vile, hateful man should face some kind of punishment. Of course, we'll have to get back in there before we can do that. But I don't think any of them should just escape, like Moscow Mitch. If we don't get him out, and Leningrad Lindsay, they are the biggest ones backing everything he lies about. And we know why, because they get Russian money. Let's see what else I got on here. And again, I will say, uh, our biggest gun against this man, and I hope it doesn't have to come down to using our biggest gun. I hope it doesn't take as long as the ballot. But that is our biggest gun this time, is the ballot. If we can get 11 states to go to paper ballots, because Mitch McConnell's going to do nothing about this situation. What we need really is in those 11 states, and this was brought to my attention, there was 11 states by Amy Klobuchar. So that's what it's going to take. In those states, there needs to be petitioning starting now to have those states switch to paper ballots and an audit system for the state where we can track and see if any of the votes got flipped after the paper ballots were counted. And change will come, but it's starting from the bottom up. That means that, and where I can locally in a Republican totally dominated town, if they have a Republican running against a Democrat, which is in all the seats around here in state, or I mean local government, city hall, And county government, they don't always have anybody competing. In fact, a lot of their candidates have no competition. So you had to vote for them. I don't know. I'm starting to think I may just skip voting for them, but I don't like doing that. Uh, if there's somebody competing against them, and I already know how rotten that Republican is, since I vote total uh, Democratic ticket, but here locally that doesn't count because you don't have Democrats running against these Republicans in county government or in city government. All right, let's see what else I can get on to. All of us leave final expenses, funeral costs, medical bills, and other debts. In fact, the average funeral alone is between $8,000 and $9,000. A lot of what I got yesterday is something that I think is basic to all the candidates, and most of them spoke on it in this way that we have to work with our allies. We make up 15% of the climate change problem. 85% is the rest of the world. We have to work with our allies because they are the only other ones that the Paris Climate Agreement. Germany is doing a lot with solar, and all those countries are, but because we have an idiot that tries to alienate our allies, the Trump regime is not helpful at all. And the dirty bastard yesterday decided we didn't need power saving or energy saving light bulbs. That's only the start with this asshole. He wants to bring about, or for example, I saw something last night pertaining to that. Let me see if I've got it on paper. I can more or less come from the heart on that. Well, I do remember a good deal of it. For instance, we go back to regular light bulbs, incandescent, opposed to LEDs. I have LEDs in every room except my bedroom because up over the bed I can't get to the light fixture, but it does have a compact fluorescent in it, so at least it does save some money. But the LEDs have knocked in some months as much as $40 off my bill. We have a couple of rooms you have to use the overhead because of where the windows are over here next to me in the kitchen. You can't get enough light in the other room. So it's either sit in the dark or use those, but I've saved money ever since we went. I think we've got 260-watt in the living room, plus our lamps on our tables in there are 60-watt a piece. The one up here is 260-watt. The one in the kitchen has 160-watt. In the bathroom, I've got two equivalent 100-watt bulbs yeah, that's right, 200 watts in the bathroom, and I'm saving money. If he takes that away and companies like GE go back to incandescent bulbs only, what you're going to find is 80 billion kilowatt hours a year that could light up a city like Philadelphia. What he's trying to do is to cost you more on your electric to favor these big power companies. And of course, he wants coal to drive those companies for that power. Let's see what else I got. And I did not like the way last night Anderson Cooper was trying to claim, and I'm going to hope that there is a clip from Tom Hartman today, where he was talking about he has a Prius, and that car is electric hybrid. When he uses electric, he says that it burns rubber when it takes off. It will not do it burning gasoline. And Anderson Cooper, with his questions about how do you encourage people to adopt electric cars, his answer was, or before, while the candidate is mulling over the situation before answering, he said, "What I don't like is they're very slow." No, they're not. They're faster than a gasoline engine. Because after all, electric car pulls up to a light, it cuts off. It's dead. It's not using any power at all. When they step on it to go at the green light, that's when they're using power. What we need in this country is we're going to have to convert over. And that means there's going to have to be power stations, or as technology gets better, they can put more batteries, smaller batteries in there and give a bigger range, but you're still going to need power stations before you can travel in these vehicles. But that's what we're looking at, folks. That's what we're going to have to do for our environment. If we're going to leave anything behind, that's what has to happen. And let me go through here and make sure I didn't leave out anything. All right, here's where I mentioned. Yeah, 80 billion kilowatt hours extra a year, enough to power a city. That's ridiculous. And I thought something curious. And I think this was on The Last Word. Paul Manafort and wife on a 90s Nickelodeon game show where they put a pie in the loser's face. And during that, his wife lost because she had to take things. The contest was ladies, take what you don't want back out of your pocketbooks, and the winner will be the lightest pocketbook. His wife lost, I think it was something like 9 credit cards. But I thought that was curious because they show Paul Manafort's face in the audience like that when he said, "Well, those are mine now," and put them in his pocket. But that was just a curiosity that they threw in on one of the shows. I won't keep you a long time today. Hello, Bernadette. And I hadn't said that myself. Hello, fellow Blue Dots. This is what it's all about, folks. They did ask the dumbass later in the Oval Office, and he denied any knowledge or he used the Sharpie on the prediction map. I think it was him because he keeps one to sign his restaurant menu when he does the signing of laws or some of his dumbass ideas, executive orders that he signs. That's what he uses on it. All right. I will let you folks go. I'll have a lot more by tomorrow, and I'll have a little more on. Oh, I don't want to forget to mention this. Uh, Again today, besides illegally altering a hurricane prediction map, he completely showed no empathy. At the time he was doing that, there's people dying in the Bahamas. Again, he just totally ignores anything. That's because he has no empathy. He has no humanity about him. It's all about him. And no one has heard him speak about the mass shooting in Odessa. He has said nothing about the victims. All he said was the man was a sick person. And that's it. This is not normal. I am not going to be numbed out to gun violence because he wants to make it normal for the NRA. Holy shit. It's like living in a nightmare to get up every day and have to put up with the asshole that's in office. Yeah, I agree, Bernadette. It was his Sharpie. Either that or he probably he's going to pass it off on the guy that picked the map up out of the floor. I guarantee you, if he passes it off. But he figures he can lie. His base don't give a shit. They don't even know what truth is anymore. Yeah, he is, Bernadette. Uh, and I've always stated how I feel every day. But I tell you what, it gets my ass out of bed. I'll say that about it. Maybe that's the good thing. Keeping my sanity. That's the reason I posted. They're coming to take me away. Ha ha. A favorite song of mine in days of old. They had a good video on it, and of course, they didn't use it with the video back when it was on the radio, and that's how old I am. All right, folks. I'll let you go for today. I want you to share this shit. Subscribe if you haven't already. And we're growing this thing. I looked yesterday, we're up to 76 subscribers. So, Blue Dot family, I give you credit for all this that's happening. Yep, that's the point, Bernadette. I will hang in here. They're going to have to take me out in a straitjacket before they can get rid of me. As long as I've got this format and I've got Facebook, I will be here. And with that, we'll leave you. We will get that sorry ass out of our house. Peace, resist, persist, and insist. And if you don't know what I'm insisting, then you can figure it out. All right. All right. Share this shit, America. I love you and I love this Blue Dot family. We will make a difference. We all stand stronger together. All right. Have a good one. Share this shit, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.